Welcome back to ULTI.TV's coverage of EMUCC 2022, the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships, here in the gorgeous fields on Wrocław, Poland. Sun is shining, the wind's temporarily disappeared once more, and we've got action from the Open Masters division with Wolpertinger from Munich, Germany, taking on the Wizards Grand Cru of Geneva, Switzerland. It's Benjamin Rees back with you in the booth, delighted to be joined by a new face for this game. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Sergei Volante.
Thank you very much, Benji. Yeah, a new voice, as you said, or new face, new voice rather, for you on the screens. My name is Sergei Volante. I'm from Germany, Leipzig. I'm very excited to be here and very grateful for the opportunity to co-cast with you today. I've been interested in commentating for a longer while. Followed the ULTI.TV project, which I really like what you guys are doing. And at this event, I'm actually coaching in the Masters Mixed division.
With the Wizards of Ost?
Wizards of Ost, right. But you can be sure that I will be completely unbiased regarding the Wizards, but I like magic happening on the fields.
Well, I think that is something that we can all get on board with. It's going to be Wolpertinger in white with black shorts and the Wizards Grand Cru wearing all burgundy and gold with polo cut jerseys, which is an interesting decision. As we are underway, the pool goes down towards the far side of the field and centred to Vasudevan, trying to get it little throw and go and playing on the move. Now quick release with the flick. See that this Wizards team is trying to play with a lot of speed, keep the disc on low stall counts. Vasudevan again trying to throw and go.
Yeah, the Wizards, as I have been watching them, are quite famous or quite known for their give and go, very fast movement, as we can see there. I've been watching them against the Goldfingers in an earlier match. Goldfingers, one of the local German teams as well. And I have seen them handling and going for give and goes a lot there as well. So we might expect that.
Yeah, and it pays dividends on that first point to give them a 1-0 lead. Pretty clean hold. So, as you mentioned, that quick disc movement that they want to make a feature of their offense, and well, if they can make them all go as easy as that, it should be a comfortable game. But you know that it's never quite that simple, as much as teams would sometimes like it to be.
Yeah, Benji, you're right there. For now, we are going to see the Wolpertinger offense for the first time, so we're going to see how they can cope with the side of the disc and what the Wizards have to give us on defense.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen Wolpertinger. In fact, this weekend we streamed in the very first game yesterday against their German rivals of Hardfish, with Hardfish from Hamburg coming out on top on that encounter. 3 German teams in this division, of course, as you mentioned, with Goldfingers, who we streamed this morning, being the other, with generally strong German representation throughout the tournament here, which is very good for the older population of Germany's ultimate scene.
Go, 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 go!
I actually had the pleasure of playing with some of the players from the Wolpertinger roster on several national teams. For instance, Felix Michel, the number 5, Ragnar as well. I don't know the exact numbers. I will get them. I can just tell you that those are very nice guys, fun to play with, and also very good energy levels, and of course good understanding of Ultimate.
Yeah, so just an early pick here. Players will get themselves reset and resolved downfield. Wally checks it on the mark. Underneath option is faked, trying to break. The raking inside flick, low towards the ground, sliding to catch that is Pasternak. With those long socks, makes him an instantly recognisable figure. Struggling to try and find any real gainers though. Wenzel towards the far sideline. Fakes the up line, wants to get the reset a little bit more central. Makes the swing, secures the catch. Deliciously across the field, but a brilliant sliding layout afterwards. A little bit of swag as well from Wally.
Yeah, very nice layout defense there. We could see it coming, to be honest, for a longer while. All the passes, or many passes from the Wolpertingers, seemed quite hard, and in the end they got the D.
So, what can the Wizards crew do with this so far? They've played A lot of close games, but struggling to come out on the right side of those. An early break here would do very well to arrest that momentum and try and get a W on the board. On the far side.
Yeah, so Benji, could you catch us up? For me personally, I'm coaching the Masters Division. I don't know about the Open Division so much, and maybe the fans out there at home want to know about the mode and the tournament schedules. Can you fill us up there a bit?
Yeah, so Lombele catching that hammer on the far side will give the break for Wizards to put them 2-0 up, and there are 7 teams in the Open Masters Division. So not everyone's playing all at the same time, because obviously 7 divided by 2 just does not go. So, but every team's played at least 3 games, and actually neither of these teams have yet to register a win on the board, which I must admit will be pretty galling for them. Wolpertinger at minus 16-point differential, only -7 for Wizards, which I think shows that their games have generally been quite close. I mentioned that Wolpertinger Hardfish game, which Wolpertinger lost 15-8. They went down tightly, 15-13 to Uprising, and first game this morning as well, 15-8 to Silence. For the Wizards Grand Crew, yesterday 15-13 to Silence, and 14-12 to Goldfingers. Before they... I think they only played... No, they must have played 3 games because I've looked at the thing. Why can I not find it? They went down 15-12 to Hardfish this morning, but they felt that actually they put a good performance on the field there, even if the result didn't go their way.
Okay, thanks, Benji. So we could kind of say generally this is a high-stakes game for both teams, just to get their foot into the tournament, get their first win. Am I right there? And just to get the energy up.
Yeah, you never want to finish bottom of the standings, certainly. Both these 2 teams and XL, who we streamed in the first game this morning as well, are currently without a win. At this point, the finals is beyond them, with 2 teams both having 4 victories and no losses, those Hardfish and Silence. Pretty much putting themselves in the top spot, but not guaranteed as yet. Could go down to some funky point differentials or head-to-heads. But, as you mentioned, yeah, both teams very keen to get a win on the board.
And for now, it's looking pretty good for the Wizards. They got the first break in the last point, had a pull out of bounds, I guess. It's centered in. First quick pass.
Volt looking downfield, fakes. Mark being set on here. And stoppage temporarily. Maybe a bit of a bump on a mark there from Toro. Engaged in discussion here with his opposite number. I think maybe this is subsequent marking infractions, and they're talking about resetting the stall count.
I think so too, Benji. I like the calm contest, the calm communication, very respectful. Generally, you can say the spirit is very high at this tournament, very good communications. I think some of the teams can improve on hand signals mainly, especially on the stream, but overall it's very good, very calm. Teams have a lot of smiles to each other.
Yeah, it feels like every game we've seen personally has been very well spirited, and the spirit scores across the tournament generally I think reflect that, which is nice to see. Rising grab there made by Moreau. Oh, the little okey-doke backhand into the middle, just about gets away with it. Almost didn't get away with it.
We see a tight defense from Wizards again. Many passes from Wolpertinger seem very hard to get off. There, a nice inside break.
And they're going to shoot deep. This is going to require a chase towards the back of the end zone. Can he get there in time? Slides towards the ground, and it's a touch too much.
I like the effort, though. Many teams or many players might have said, "Oh, it's too far for me. It's falling down. I have no chance." But the player in the white shirt, number 15, goes it for all, gives it a layout attempt. Unfortunately, not close enough.
It's one of those where you've got to try, because obviously if you don't try, you're never going to catch it. But on this occasion, yeah, it was just too far out in front for anything. Gonna have a look here. This is that no pivot backhand, tries to squeeze it in through the middle of the field, and just about got away with it past the bidding Toro.
So Wizards with their next chance, nice opening pass. Very much room.
Zips that one in there to Smith. Smith downfield now. Finds Wali. You've got that brilliant layout on the last point. Wizards pivoting now, looking back in field. Nice little handler movement to Tree. Stretch the field laterally. Try and use that full width. Toro goes up line. Looking at the end zone now, not necessarily seeing an option, but a cut does come free towards the front cone. Nice little chop step there from Wally, who's having himself a hell of a game as Wizards break once more. They are all over their opponents.
Yeah, and on the last pass, the last throw looked a bit trapped there. I almost saw an opportunity for Wolpertinger there to create a lot of pressure, but then some player just steals onto the close corner, the close cone, and gets the easy score.
And that's, as a handler, that's all you can ask for really as your cutters. Get free open side under. All you've just got to do is be able to put the disc on the spot, and was able to do that. So 3-0 up now already. Wizards have come out of the blocks with a point to prove here, I think.
For sure, for sure. Now it's a lot of pressure on Wolpertinger. Now we can see the first reactions maybe coming, maybe thinking about timeouts, maybe thinking about creating different offenses. We will see how they will react.
See some of your teammates walking past, giving you a little bit of a thumbs up for your commentary debut.
Yeah, I very much appreciate the opportunity to commentate.
It's lovely to have you in the booth. As we're seeing this Wolpertinger offense go back to work towards this sideline. Ungerman.
Spacing looks a lot better, I'd say, for Wolpertinger now. They get a lot of passes, they look way easier, they get a lot of room. Maybe a hack opportunity, we cannot see the far field. But the coverage seems good for Wizards in the long field.
Yeah, they're really forcing them to try and work this disc under. At the moment, Wolpertinger are happy to do that. The question is, can they stay patient? Coming short is Lindemann. Lindemann with a little dump off, but it's incomplete. Another break opportunity chance now for Wizards, who are pretty dominant at the moment. Vasudevan will stride towards the disc, and I'd imagine he doesn't want to have it in his hands for particularly long as he gets the quick throw out to Nabil. What I just about snuck that in to Charlier.
Almost gets it back there.
On the move are the Wizards Grand Crew. High release backhand into that space. Just outside the end zone. One throw would do it. Will they take it or will they try and go backwards? Pivot around, takes the dump to Navi.
Trapped on the close cone again is the Wizards. Might they snuck in one again? There was a hand block on this, but still caught.
Yeah, got to catch your D's, people. And now they're swinging it towards the back of the end zone. High grab will be made. Did he get that toe down?
That's a close call to make.
Sideline says goal. And I love that toe drag swag for the score. I'm trying to work out who that is. That might be Nakaoka. What a catch. Looking forward to trying, hopefully, seeing if we can get a shot on that on replay. I have all the faith in our camera crew that we did. Seeing that was that throw back to Overall that was tipped on the hand block, and he lashes this towards the back cone. He's asking an awful lot of his receiver. It's good coverage as well, and there's the shot. Just plants it down inbound, and there's a sideline right there to instantly signal the goal, and full credit to Wolpertinger as well. Didn't argue the point, saw that they had much better perspective and took their word for it, and a little bit dicey that one for Wizards, but it counts all the same. 4-0 they now lead.
Yeah, you got to commend the high spirit from the Wolpertinger player, Felix Michel, if I'm not mistaken. To just calm down, see what's the play, and just call it in. Very fair play. But you also have to commend the, I'd say, technical athleticism from Joji Nagaoka to have the mind to tow it in, even on a high grab.
Yeah, it's that field awareness and presence of mind to know not just that I'm going to have to make a tough grab here, but also really have to do that toe tap in bounds. Balletic almost.
And now we are even on a 4-0 lead. Wolpertinger still to get on board. I hope they can do here, so we get a close game.
We shall see. Going down the far side, Moreau tries to open up, finds an option deep, sneaking in over the head of the receiver and tracked down in stride by Pasternak. Is he in the end zone? Players on the field signaling goal. And I think they've retracted the call that it was out. Goal stands, and they're finally on the board, Wolpertinger, for 4-1.
You gotta love this leading huck pass. It was really good spacing. The only receiver running towards the end zone and just milking it into it, and very nice spirit on the other side. Wizards just listening to Wolpertinger, calling it in, and going for the next point.
Yeah, fakes that down the sideline and then opens it up across the field, as you mentioned, leading that receiver into the end zone. He lost sight of it a little bit, turned over the wrong shoulder temporarily, but then managed to come back and locate the disc, and finally get Wolpertinger on the board a lot later than they would have hoped.
So now we have the first chance, I guess, no, the second chance to see the Wolpertinger defense. Now they have the chance to create energy there, maybe get a turn, maybe get an interception, or just create a lot of chaos, make it hard for Wizards to stay in this game.
So the ball goes up towards the Wizards O-line. Nabil makes the catch.
Quick movement for the beginning. Looking like a zone here for Wolpertinger's three-man cup.
Yeah, I like it. This is the first time we've seen the Wizards O-line since the first point of the game. So why not throw something a little bit different at them, seeing if they can catch them out coming slightly cold. Navi fakes the hammer. He's got that long reach, so he can definitely get it over the top of that cup. And now swinging it!
There it is.
Trying to get it on the near sideline to Valar, but Vasudevan got his hand caught in the cookie jar there, a little bit too greedy, and a brilliant layout wins the disc back for Wolpertinger.
Number 23 shirt from Wolpertinger. Unfortunately, I don't have a name on the list there. But a very good, very great layout defense.
Yeah, what a play. Can that turn this tie back in Wolpertinger's favour? Wow, I don't know how Neville didn't get a block on that. Might have got fingertips, but no more. And now the arcing shot across the end zone. Wolpertinger earned back their first break.
And the save and catch was, I guess, from number 23 again, so this point is definitely very much on him, bringing his team back into the game.
And that's what Wolpertinger are going to need, players to, you know, stand up and be counted, so to speak. Try and put the team on their back and make those big, energizing plays.
So Benji, what do you think? Were we going to see the cup defense again here? Is the wind playing a factor or not?
It wouldn't surprise me if we did, actually. You know, I think it generated the turn. Whether you could say that was because it was for tight defensive pressure, or maybe maybe the Wizards taking their eye off the ball. At any rate, it worked. I think it's worth trying again just in case.
I totally agree there, Benji. You just created a turn. You're kind of in the heads of the Wizards already. Why not stay there? Now the Wizards are on the side of the reaction. They need to react to the probably coming zone again. We will see how they will handle it.
Yeah, this ball is going to tail, and I think it will probably drift out of the sideline. Indeed, it is. So that's going to be an opportunity to bring the disc in at the brick mark for Vasudevan.
Yeah, always kind of a downer. I think if you have an energy level up, you want to make a tight defense, and then the pull trails out. I hope it's not breaking the mentality of Wolpertinger. But on the other side, they have the time to set up their defense as well. And in fact, it's not looking like a defense, not looking like a zone, I'm sorry.
No, it feels like they're just going to go one-on-one here. Vasudevan trying to get that low stance on the mark. Instead, dumps it back to Navi. Navi downfield. That's a really tight catch made by Romero. And pick downfield.
Yeah, we're seeing tight matchups. Every play, every pass is contested a lot. But I also like that the contact level is still very low for all the intensity and all the contest on the passes. Good spirit.
Enriquinho. Lovely upline cut there from Nabi with a shake and bake to get free. And he's absolutely ripped this towards the back of the end zone. Bordeaux, like a fine wine, aging brilliantly, makes the catch at the back of the end zone for 5-2. What a scorching deep put there from Navi.
Very nice throw. Some might even call it a buttery biscuit.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Liam. Greetings. Yeah, it's just the right expression there. Good spacing, good eye, and it was just no chance for the defense.
It's all generated from that upline cut. The defender just sets their feet a bit, touch too long, commits to the dump. It gives the space to get open upline in that power position. And boy, did Navi take advantage of that. Beautiful, on the money to Alban Bordeaux. And Wizards restore their three-point lead at 5-2. Still a couple of breaks up in this contest.
We got ourselves a game here, Benji. Now Wolpertinger going to score again, hopefully. Bringing up their offense, hopefully with a clean score, so they can get up the defense again. Now we will see if the Wizards will change up the defense as well. So far, I guess they played person defense only, one force. We will see what they give us now. as the pull goes up. Looking to be in bounds now.
Yeah, it curls towards the end zone. It's fielded by Huber. Slashing cut underneath from Lindemann. Fakes the backhand. Tries to get the cutter up line. The reset goes to Schlumpf. Schlumpf Huber, of course, noted ultimate trainer, I guess I'd say. Very involved in the physicality of developing ultimate players as athletes. Let me put my teeth back in.
You might not see it on the screen at home, but the Wizards are actually doing quite a lot of work deep field. There's not many cuts that are freely open, so it's again onto the handlers to give the quick movement, short passes, but there's not a lot of room to gain.
Yeah, they're compressing everything underneath and really making their opponents try and grind down the field to test their patience. Is that swing, and it's low, and it proves to pay dividends.
Wizards taking their time to set up the offense out of the turn. Looking like 3 handlers or 2 handlers and the rest in the stack.
That's the advantage of no, it's going to be 3 back. And the rest placed downfield. Overal swings to Tannenwald. Tannenwald just about beats that diving bid and zinging it to the back of the end zone. Nice little toe tap from Fleur. Will get Wizards another break, and their 4-point advantage is restored at 6-2.
Good spacing on the leading pass again, and there the Wizards get a break again. Coming closer and closer to the halftime, leading 6-2.
Well, if Wizards had been able to play like this in their other games, I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't have found a way to win one of those. But again, maybe this is the thing where maybe you get a little bit unlucky, you're close, but you just can't quite put it out. And they've come into this game and they have haired out of the traps.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes it's just a margin of centimeters, like on this layout attempt, or maybe just some mental things going on. Mentality is a big thing in team sports, especially in Ultimate. It's a lot about how confident are you? Do you think you can win? Do you want to win? Do you do the right things to win? And those are all the small steps that can lead to win.
As a coach, I guess, the actual, the skills and the physicality is only half of it. Trying to train your charges mentally is a whole different question.
For sure. I totally agree. Sometimes it's just the right words, just the right action in the moment, and it can fuel the whole team to just play like 2-3 levels better if the athleticism is there. Nice leading pass from Wolpertinger.
Ungerman trying to shoot down the sideline, but in the end it doesn't quite hold that line long enough. It drifts and it tails off out of the far sideline, begins to go slightly inside out when he wanted it to stay outside in. And another turn for Wolpertinger.
Yeah, Benji, if I'm not mistaken, the wind is actually trailing to our side, to the close side. So so far the Wizards have handled the wind on this side better than the Wolpertinger. Some of the pulls, some of the hugs are going out like this one, and Wolpertinger are in the defensive side again.
I think they're just trying to work out who's going to be active when the play begins. A little pop through to the handlers there, lashing it deep. Can he make the adjustment to the catch at the back of the end zone? He can indeed. It's Fleur with that knee brace on his right knee, left knee. I know which side is which. Making the grab for the 7-2 lead now for Wizards. Some half from the Swiss here.
Yeah, we can see the signature style of play I mentioned in the beginning. Very quick movement from the Wizards, 2-3 quick dish passes, and then the long leading pass into the end zone by number 11, the Ben Tannenwald. Just capitalizing very quickly on the turnover.
And that's the second goal in as many points for Alexandre Fleur. Lives in Chambéry. Been playing for 12 years, 37-year-old. And I think this is one of the things that I love about watching Masters, is the players seem just so much more assured in what they're doing. You know, they've got that, I don't want to say arrogance or confidence necessarily, but they've just got that calm, like they've seen pretty much everything before. So no game situation really seems to faze them.
Yeah, I totally agree there as well. It's a lot about experience and the I always like to call it playing IQ.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
So you have been in a lot of situations, you know what can happen, what you can do, what happens if you throw the pass or not. So they can control a lot on the field. And speaking as a coach, it's always a pleasure to coach people who know what they're doing, if I might say, and who just have a lot of tactical understanding, a lot of experience, so you can focus more on the small things we discussed, the mental things.
Yeah, it's less about the teaching the fundamental skills and more about just getting everyone comfortable in what you're doing as a team and what your roles are.
Pick has been called.
Just seeing those hand signals, getting those arms out at right angles. Just check back in, thought he was going to try that zinged inside forehand, but instead lays it down the line to Huber for the goal and a 7-3 scoreline.
This time it's the Wolpertingers on the far side to get out of the trap with an easy upline leading pass. Very good space and room usage there again.
Yeah, especially when you're close to the end zone and space is at a premium. It's all about how can you maximize the options that you've got available, and generally you do see teams stack nice and tightly in the end zone because it gives you these two clear spaces to attack of the open side and the break side, and that time cleared out, and it meant that slashing cut down the sideline was able to be thrown to and really fit that in there for the score.
Yeah, just want to sit in this point there again. As a coach, I always like to focus on the people cutting who are far from the disc or not even getting the disc. It's very important to clear space so you make the space in the room for other cuts to be free.
So Wizards Grand Crew can take this into half here with if they can just put this final point on the board. Our scoreboard's just got a little bit of sand in the system, perhaps from Great Grandmasters last year.
This pull trailing out again, this time on the far side, so Wizards have the opportunity to get it to the prick again. It's looking like the zone again, so for the second time we might see a good zone look here for Wolpertinger. It's a three-man cup again, one deep and three in the short space.
Yeah, Bordeaux is pushing himself deeper on this near sideline, and there's that open pass immediately, which Vasudevan takes to Nabil and leads his receiver out into space a little bit there. Not a problem though for Dmitriy Doroshenko. Now
Nice
blading
pass.
over the top.
Good blade there. Actually, the far field looks to be very close up. As I say that, one is free.
Just trying to get that spacing correct downfield so that when they get past that first line of defense, they've got passes ready to make. Now back to Vasudevan. Vasudevan just swinging around the back now with Navi. Just taking the little yards here and there. So they say you can't go broke taking a profit and all. Maybe tried to jam that one in too much, but he got away with it in the end. And that'll take the Wizards into half, up 8-3. That nearly, well, it almost felt like it shouldn't have worked, but I don't think Wizards will complain.
Yeah, in the beginning it looked quite easy for Wizards. They broke it once or twice very fast, but then in the end they almost got it back. But number 9, Nicola Shayi, makes sure it's a point and the half goes to Wizards.
Yeah, and Charlier just wanted to give us a shout out to his fans watching at home. His parents, his wife Coralie, Lois and Oliver, his children, and the other players on his team in Chambéry. Right, that is now 8-3, half-time, and that provides us an opportunity to take a little bit of a breather, get some water on board while the teams make their half-time adjustments as well. But do not go away, because our coverage of the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships continues after the break.
And a huge one goes deep. Becky has it in her grasp and it's a goal! My goodness, Elise Becker, you legend!
The break side, Murphy, and then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! DV!
Hi, this is Vest. Me and my camera have been covering Ultimate Frisbee since 2012, and now I've been working with ULTI.TV, streaming Ultimate Frisbee for you. And if you become a patron member, we can offer you more contents, especially those games that they are not live stream and they're happening at the end of the game. Half of it I can move and go in there and stream live. So become a member, go on ULTI.TV.
Welcome back to the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships, brought to you here live and on demand for free on the ULTI.TV YouTube channel. We are delighted to be in beautiful Wrocław, Poland, bringing you action from Europe's premier Masters Club tournament. And we're in the Open Masters division now with Wolpertinger of Germany in a bit of a hole at half-time, down 8-3 against the Wizards Grand Crew. From Switzerland, it's Benji Rees with you again in the commentary booth. Delighted to be joined for the second half by Sergej Volante. Sergej, what did you make of that first period?
Thanks a lot, Benji. Welcome back, people. I'd say the defense from Wizards was very tight, especially in the long space, so it was very hard for Wolpertinger, and the leading passes into the end zone were quite a lot better for Wizards side, so it's completely understandable that they are up right now, but the comeback is still possible.
Yeah. Wizards have had a tendency to play teams close without necessarily being able to get over the hump. So that's something that they will desperately try and break in this game. Coming out on the second half on offense here are Wolpertinger.
Looking like a matchup defense from Wizards again.
Trying to get that up line cut. Thought that could have gone, but maybe Holstead did a touch too long. And rather than jam it through, taking the reset around the back now. Fakes the backhand. Finds a nice option coming underneath in the centre. Pasternak has lost the cap, but he's still got those knee-high socks on. Trying to give a little bit of compression for the calves. Working it underneath nicely. Hoyweisser, but that is going to be a temporary stoppage on the pick.
Speed looking good for Wolpertinger. Bringing it in, moving it fast.
And disc is checked back in, looking for the reset. Instead, goes to his second option, finds it, happy to lose a little bit of field position to keep the disc moving and keep the disc recycling. Huber powers underneath, and he launches the hammer towards the far side of the end zone, and it just helixes out of bounds. I love the look, but he just didn't get the execution right.
Yeah, it's almost comically called the German look, because overheads and hammers are pretty famous in Germany, pretty likable, but this time it didn't work.
Didn't quite get maybe the snap or the angle on release. Wizards trying to strike deep. I think there's going to be help defense at the back to cover in, and I think it looks like Gerstenberg, who's just there to just get his body in the way.
And the timeout called by Fabian Gerstenberg.
Quite an early timeout in this second half, but evidently, probably weren't happy with the way their offense came out initially in this half. So, rather than try and rush it and get back into play, especially with players not ready downfield, going to take the opportunity to use the timeout here. As a coach, Sergej, how do you look to use timeouts in a game?
I mean, generally saying, I could say not use timeout is always worse than a used timeout, because you just give away an opportunity. And I think every person, every player has the right or the responsibility to take timeouts if they feel like. And on this moment, I actually like it, even if it's early. You turned over the disc already. You want to have another look on the offense. You want to calm down, want to talk over again how you want to move, where are the gaps. And yeah, as a coach, of course, you highly need timeouts, especially in Ultimate, where we don't have much ways or much opportunities to call into plays, to take responsibility. So timeouts are very important.
It's 2 timeouts per team per half this tournament. Is that the one?
That's right, yeah.
So actually, especially if you've only got the 1 timeout, you are really cautious as to when you use it, because you don't want to burn it early on and then find later on you're in an opportunity when you really need to, say, reset your heads, or you're close to the end zone and you want to set something up, and actually you find you've not got the opportunity to use it. But with 2, you've got a little bit more license perhaps as to when you use them.
Yeah, for sure. But there's always a downside, as you mentioned already. You don't want to waste timeouts as well or burn them too early. Now they have 1 already. I'd like to call it the timeout race, which has begun. So now Wizards still have 2, Wolpertinger only have 1, so they have to look more closely when to take the second one.
The timeout race. I like that. This is good. Are you also familiar with the so-called curse of the turnout? This is where teams call timeouts and then turn over, which happens, unfortunately, a lot more than teams would like it to.
Let's hope it doesn't happen here.
Yeah, from a Wolpertinger perspective, or if you're rooting for a close game, probably not the ideal scenario. Sure, why not? Ideal scenario here for the Germans. We'll see how they can bring the disc in. It's always difficult coming off a timeout because, of course, bringing it in off the pool, for example, or a turnover, you can get players in motion before the disc is brought in, but with a timeout, you don't have that luxury.
Looking like a junk for Wizards now. They're poaching.
Yeah, they're going to try and pass off those players downfield, see if they can be a bit more efficient with the movement.
That's also a very clever thing to do after a timeout from the offense. Just change the defense look.
Yeah, the advantage, of course, of being on defense if the other team calls timeout is that you see how they're set up, and you can set your defense up based on what formation they've shown you. Oh, cheeky little hammer over the German look, over the top.
Wizards back into matchup.
Nice gainer downfield there on the far sideline. Look for a continuation, but the timing and the rhythms maybe not quite been there for this Wolpertinger offense. Again, now there's a slash cut. Takes the underneath, little dish to Huber. Continuing towards this near sideline. Wenzel wants to squeeze it in there, still not quite in the end zone just yet, but they stayed patient and they stayed with the option, and a rather protracted but still effective hold in the end there for Wolpertinger. They're down 8-4.
Yeah, we just witnessed one of the few times the Wolpertinger came down on the break side, kept it moving on the break side, and I hope they can bring this more often on the offense.
Just seeing that fake there, he's holding the disc in his other hand and just kind of, rather than maybe using it to move the mark, he's also gesturing to his players downfield that that's not the option he wants to throw to.
So now we're going to see the Wolpertinger pulling again. Wizards offense line, we will see.
Yeah, their first low point of this half.
True. We will see what the Wolpertinger will throw onto the Wizards now, defensively speaking. Ball stays in this time. It's centered.
Vasudevan's got it just shy of the brick mark.
Close contest on this pass.
Dishes back to Vasudevan. Fakes that backhand. Now turns, squares to go in field, try to get that throw and go. But there's a pick downfield. I think that, I'm not sure that it really affected that throw to David Navi, but we shall see. I think, from what I can understand from French or Swiss German or whatever language, stack vertical is probably vertical stack.
Yeah, you're right on this.
I can speak lots of different languages, clearly.
Good one, Benji, good one.
Zinging it down the far sideline, Bordeaux.
Defense looking very good for Wolpertinger now.
Yeah, good use of the ability to just pop that over the defender there, get it behind him where he can't really adjust. Low release towards the far sideline for Bordeaux. Bordeaux faking around, might take this dump to Navi. That's where he goes with those luminous orange compression tights. Now squeezing it towards the sideline. Layout is close, but no cigar on that occasion for Wolpertinger. Dish back to Neville, who's orchestrating things in the backfield, and he pulled out of the cut because the defender was there. He did the right thing, but Neville threw it anyway. Now a break chance for the Germans.
Very nice poaching defense we saw there from Wolpertinger. This was the playing IQ kicking in. for the Wolpertinger player, just seeing that this pass will come like 80 or 90% of the time, so he can just stay there, poach it up, and get the D.
Yeah, the cutter recognised that actually there's too much going on here. I better not continue that cut. But had the eyes with the thrower, and he was committed by that point. What can Wolpertinger do with their opportunity? Lindemann dumping back off to Trump with that distinctive bucket hat. Low on the sideline, Vasudevan putting the mark on Ungerman, trying to utilise the width of the field, draw them out horizontally. Oh, Vasudevan maybe got the up call a little bit late and it snuck behind his ear holes.
Wolpertinger very conservative with holding the disc this time, not throwing deep, not looking deep. They just want to keep it and score.
Yeah, there's so many points down in this game. Not a lot of the time you give your D-line a bit more license to be creative and expansive with their throwing opportunities. But when you're this far down in the game, maybe you need to keep things a little bit more chilled as that blade shows a little bit more creativity. But rather than jam it down the sideline, again, they want to swing it into the centre of the pitch, gives them both sides of the end zone to attack. And there's the German look, the hammer towards the far side for Søren Ungerman. And that'll be a break for Wolpertinger, 8-5 now. Comeback is on, question mark?
Maybe. All the Wolpertingers, German Wolpertingers fans at home will surely hope for it. This time the German look worked. The very smart poach defense on the one side of the field and the very nice spaced hammer on the other side.
Yeah, that is offense that is not necessarily characteristic of most teams' D-lines, where it's kind of a bit more run and gun and you give them license to shoot. But they kept it steady, they kept it conservative, they kept their composure, and they were rewarded for that in the end. An interesting game in development here, especially in this second half. Wolpertinger holding on their first 0 point and then breaking on defense.
I'm very interested if we're going to see these 3 cups zone again. I'm pretty much expecting it. It worked quite well in the first half, and they are on the wind side again, so to say.
Yeah, the wind has dipped a little bit more, but you never know when it might just spring up again.
Changing the matchups.
3 whistles come from the scorekeeper on the sideline, and the pool goes deep. Navi to Vasudevan. Looking for an option downfield, trying to make those windmill-style cuts out of that horizontal setup.
And we see the matchup defense.
This put goes deep. It might hang a little bit, and this will allow defenders to close. Who can get the best read on it? Oh, ripped out of the sky there by Wolpertinger.
That was Felix Michel. Very nice defensive contest. We could see 2 defenders who could just box out the offender, creating the opportunity for the interception.
So, after the turn, Wolpertinger looking to eat away this advantage again. Putting it deep over the top, and Navi saw it just in time to knock it away for the Wizards.
Yeah, I gotta like the look, but technically the throw wasn't meant to be as bladey, I guess. He wanted it more flat to sail into the end zone. Didn't work this time, so Wizards with another chance.
The cloud cover from earlier has not blocking the sun at the moment, and you can feel that it is definitely warmed up out there. Was a bit cold and windy yesterday, but these are almost ideal ultimate playing conditions at the moment, especially on these lush fields.
I totally agree there, Benji.
Coming underneath is Enriquinho. Now on the far sideline, Nagaoka to Vasudevan. He's got options open as a swing. They might take the second one instead, use that to move the mark around. Or this is a sitting up throw into space. Bordeaux is on hand to make the catch.
Quick movement by the Wizards again. You just gotta admire their speed on offense.
Yeah, he sold the defender all the way down the river. He was right the way in the backfield on that up line cut and just calmly pop it into the end zone, and he is suspiciously open, and that's because he's been picked. So the kind of begrudging walk back to the stack from Charlier. Check back in. And just pop to Charlier anyway for the goal. But after a shaky last point, Wizards made that offensive point a lot cleaner there for 9-5. Yes, 9-5.
But I think as Wolpertinger, you mainly have to feel good about this point. You generated a turnover, you had the chance to go deep, it was just a technical error. If you take the right things out of this, energy can go up again, mentality can stay up. You have the chance to get the disc, you just need to bring it in. They didn't manage this time, so Wizards go up, stay in control of the game so far. At this moment, the wind is catching up a bit again.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels like there are points when there's not even a breath of wind, and there's others when it does seems to whip up quite suddenly. Just another element for the for both teams to deal with.
Yeah, very important element, I'd say. Technically speaking, of course, throwing is the bread and butter as an ultimate player. Throwing and running, so to say. But this win can affect players who are not that safe in throwing, so it can be a very high element into the game. Very important element, so to say. This time trailing out is the pull from Wizards, so Wolpertinger bringing it in at the break point. We're going to see a matchup defense again for Wizards, a little poachy in the handling, very close on the downfield.
Eventually finds the reset to initiate possession here. And there's going to be a pick downfield that will give us a brief halt to proceedings.
We're seeing a horizontal setup at the moment, so 3 people are handling, four players cutting.
Takes the reset off to Moreau. Now downfield to Trump. A little bit low, but saved. Wenzel on the far sideline. Back to Trump. Again, they're trying to stop these cuts going big. Eventually it comes. There might be an opportunity for a player to poach off and lurk in that space, but he sneaks it over his head and stooping makes the catch. Does Huveiser, and that'll be 9-6.
You just got to say that was an amazing catch. Very hard to catch it in this wind, even if you don't see it on screen. Maybe it's really trailing down. The disc can pop up or down at any second. So very nice read. But I also like the look by Ragnar Somdalen there to throw that throw. It almost looked like a mirroring situations. We had 2 defenders from the Wizards maybe making a play, but this time the throw was just too good.
Yeah, precise enough that even though those defenders were maybe lured in by the bait there, just couldn't quite get there, and it eluded them. And as you mentioned, a grab that is not easy, despite how they made it look. Good work from Huveiser.
So Wolpertinger are quite in reach right now. We have a 6-9 now, but if they get this point, it's suddenly a 7-9. Game is close. Anything can happen here.
So the pool goes up and the pool goes out. Faster Devon will bring it into the brick mark. Pool probably went out a little bit short of that, but rather take the central field position than the few extra yards and have it pinned on the sideline.
Yeah, so far it has been mainly Vasudevan and Navi having the disc a lot of times, giving the quick give and goes, creating opportunities.
And the underneath slipped through the hands of Enriquinho. Thought maybe able to kick it accidentally back up into his hands, but not on that occasion. So short field here for Wolpertinger. What can they do? Ooh, bit of a big collision on this near side.
A little bit of contact there. And we have the injury call.
So walking a little bit gingerly towards the sideline is Hartmann, but I think he's going to be okay to, well, at least not this point, but just kind of shaking himself off a little bit, just going through some stretches. Opportunity to get an offensive weapon on in his replacement in terms of Schlumpf-Uber.
Yeah, I pretty much like the injury call there. Even if it's not a big injury, sometimes it's just better to breathe, take a point, get a fit person on the line.
And that he's gonna very quickly snuff out the break opportunity. I don't think the high release backhand was the bad look there, but Alban Bordeaux was all over it. He read it well and he got his hand in there to smack it away. Maybe just a tiny bit behind on the inside rather than the outside shoulder.
And the quick movement again for the Wizards.
I mean, Vasudevan is basically running as he's, being so quick with those throw and goes. It really suits his style.
For sure, you can tell he loves to play this style.
And another drop there from the Wizards. Wolpertinger again, not hanging about. Looking for options going into the backfield.
Looks a little bit cramped in the middle of the field. They need to make more space for the Wolpertingers, I guess.
Stillcat must be rising here, but they get the dump off to the reset in time. Gastenberg.
One Wolpertinger player calling, you are standing too deep, we need to come closer.
Thought he was going to take off for the deep cut, but he plants and comes back underneath instead.
Nice dish.
Leading pass here.
Oh, he's trying to milk it, not quite in.
Yeah, maybe just semi-skimmed rather than full fat there on the milk from Vogt. And he's going to take their second time out of the half.
Good time out there, just take the chance, set a red zone, and make it a close game.
We're going to take a small breather here as well, but don't worry. The rest of this game follows after the break.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Help us go electric, become a member.
Hi, this is Vest. Me and my camera have been covering Ultimate Frisbee since 2012, and now I've been working with ULTI.TV, streaming Ultimate Frisbee for you. And if you become a patron member, we can offer you more contents, especially those games that they are not live stream and they're happening at the end of the game. Half of it I can move and go in there and stream live. So become a member, go on ULTI.TV.
So welcome back, everyone. We're just coming out of a timeout for Wolpertinger with a chance to score a break here. 6-9 at the moment. Wolpertinger in the red zone situation.
Yeah, just you may have seen in one of those adverts the eccentric but beloved Vez of Vez videos with an impassioned plea there to help improve the quality and scale of coverage that we can provide. And if that is something that you want to get on board, maybe with more pitches at tournaments like this or Windmill coming up next month, then for as a couple of currency a month, you can become a patron. More info, of course, is on our website at ULTI.TV. Back to the action as Vasudevan checks in the disc on the mark. Everything's looking very close and congested. They're not looking particularly expansive. Close to the handler. Oh, he really nailed it in. He nearly reeled it in even. Naviu thinks about opening it up quickly. Instead, he's going to try and get a big gainer, but no! What a bid from Schlumpf-Uber to come in there and knock that away. Brilliant defensive play.
Athleticism there from both players, I'd say. And again, we can see very good spirit, high intensity, no body contact.
Yeah, he ground steered himself on the landing, but as a defender, doesn't really matter. No double turnover, it's fine. Underneath, Moreau. Pops that high release backhand. Seeing if they can squeeze that in. No, little blade into the centre. Oh, that was dangerous. Got away with it. And the double happiness for Uber. It's a break for Wolpertinger. They're only down by 2 at 9-7.
And there we are, as we mentioned. Good defense by Wolpertinger, taking the timeout on the end zone, getting it in the end. And now we have a timeout by the Wizards.
Well, well, well. We mentioned that Wizards have had a tendency to play close games, and maybe we're seeing that again. They had a big lead going into the second half, but they've not been able to keep that. They've not been able to put their opponents away, and it's 4-1 to Wolpertinger in this second period, with the gap only 2 points difference at 9-7. And we're going to take a little bit of a water break while the teams do the same, but our coverage continues very shortly. As the teams break their timeout huddles, you are watching the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships here in sunny Wrocław, Poland. Open Masters Division action with Wolpertinger finding themselves in a bit of a hole at half-time, but digging their way out of it, which doesn't work. You don't dig your way out of a hole. You just go further deeper. Clambering their way out of it. 4-1 in this second half to the Germans. 9-7, they still trail overall. Benji Rees alongside Sergei Valente. Sergei, after what looked like it could be a bit of a runaway, Wolpertinger are right back in this now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We can see the mentality kicking in. We were talking about earlier already. You gotta love the energy from Wolpertinger, not giving up, digging in deep, giving it all on layout defenses, on the poach positions, on the markings, and they are a bit in the heads of the Wizards.
I think it's one of those things that where, because both of these sides are winless as of yet this tournament, you're seeing maybe some fragilities in the mentality perhaps, as an overthrow there gives the disc back to Wolpertinger. Surely not another break.
It looked a bit like Vasudevan was a little bit too fast for himself this time, catching and throwing it very quickly. Wolpertinger with another chance.
Trying to work out what they're doing defensively. Swings towards the near sideline. Here's Trump.
Being trapped right now, trying to get it off. Desperately needing a break pass.
Pasternak on a high stall goes for the German. Look, the hammer over the top. And I did not see Søren Ungerman coming, but Pasternak did, and that's what matters. It's 9-8.
And the Germans are in this. Having the German look again on the hammer here. Almost like in this first half. Very nice leading hammer. Securely caught, and Wolpertinger closing it up on 8-9.
So the timeout there didn't really have the desired effect for Wizards.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's even more of a mental win for the Wolpertinger. Wizards needed to take a timeout. We're breathing, talking about the offense. Still, it didn't work. Wolpertinger got the score. So now there might be some frustration on the Wizard side, some worries, and that's what you want on the defensive side. You want them to think more about other things than their offense. You want to have them thinking about you and about the problems they have in their offense.
Yeah, and after their O-line's been broken a few points in a row here, they're making the move to bring their players from their D-line over, A, to give their O-line a break, and B, give them a chance to get reset mentally and see if their D-line can go out there and put this point in.
So now we have our offensive lines. Wizards can handle the pressure. Movement again.
Yeah, that's what we associate with the Wizards, that quick disc movement. Still count rising a little bit here now, though. Toro wants the dump. Can he find Tannenwild on a high stall? Just about gets the disc away. Towards the far sideline now. He's unlaunched an absolute howitzer going deep. Ouali rises and skies for the grab. What a catch.
What a throw as well. I mean, they were really trapped in their handling, so you might say it was like a little bit of a help pass, but boy was that a throw.
Yeah, as you mentioned, if it was a Hail Mary, then the prayer was answered. Well, he's had himself a pretty impactful game for the Wizards, trying to turn things back in their favour here. First point in a while to stop the bleeding for the Swiss. Their 2-point advantage restored at 10-8.
Yeah, very important points for the Wizards. Very important point, so to say. Just staying in it, not losing the focus, not losing their defensive throws, movements, and also the hucks.
So 10-8, the current score. The Wizards up now pulling to Wolpertinger. Mixed quarter-final action coming at you with Amsterdam up against Paris. AUC versus PUC. But in the matter at hand, the not small matter at hand, here's Wolpertinger trying to power their comeback against Wizards. Uber unlaunches it deep, and that's right in stride for Pasternak. One pass ultimate, route one stuff, but if it works, why not? Gap close to one again, it's 9-10.
Yeah, making it look very easy there on the Wolpertinger side. Just one quick dish, then the hack, easy score. Going back into defense. So Benji, I actually have to apologize, but I have to leave for now.
You've got to do some more coaching.
Yeah, I've got to do some more coaching. I want to give some more wizardry onto the tournament in the mixed division Wizards of Us. Keep rooting for us. I can just say I very much enjoyed the pleasure and the opportunity to cast here. I'm very grateful. I can only say check out the ULTI.TV projects on YouTube, on Patreon. Support them. It's a very great project for you to see and get coverage of Ultimate free. It's great.
Thank you, Sergey. That means a lot, and it's been, I must say, it really has been a real delight having you in the booth. You've given us some brilliant insight into what it's like to be a coach and a player at these sorts of tournaments, and provided that little tactical breakdown as well. That's really helped. So thank you very much. Good luck in your next game.
Thanks a lot. I'd love to join you again and enjoy the coverage, root for all your teams, and support ULTI.TV. Goodbye.
We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do, Sergey. So danke, Sergey, as he goes off to coach his next game with the Wizards of Ost. Meanwhile, Navi brings the disc in for the Wizards with those orange tights. Throws a little bit high, Nagaoka. Great focus to make the second effort grab, but he rushes the next throw to Charlier. Wolpertinger could bring it level here. With Sergey taking leave, Rahel joins us back in the booth.
Hello, Benji. How lovely for these guest commentators to join us.
I thought he did a bang-up job, Sergey.
We might as well keep him then.
We'll see what we can do. A hospital pass. Michael comes down with it. Underneath, right through the middle and right into the hands of Naveed. He was waiting and picked the pocket there.
Heavy sideline support now from the Wizards to focus and bring this point down.
Naveed flips the forehand. From a low release, it's tipped and, well, it would have been the most unlikely of catches from Emriginho, but he nearly got there. Another man carrying a wind sofa walks past.
What a tight game this has been so far.
Right, I felt like the Wizards might run away with this, but I've not been able to put their opponents away. As a sliding grab there made by Florian Lindemann. Resets in the backfield. This possession could bring us level if they can march down and score. Communication coming from the Wizards sideline, trying to desperately stop those deep looks. So it's underneath to Ungerman. Ungerman finds Winter. Winter fakes, looks into the backfield, and that's eventually where he dishes off. Vogt. Underneath again, just stretching it right the way down that sideline. Wizards keeping them trapped there, but they can take it through the open side. For an ambitious flick across the field, just sails on the thrower and on the receiver. No way to bring that one in. And Wizards, again, get away with it.
I was about to say that the Wolpertinger seemed to be quite open on the underpasses, and they could have worked it down the line all the way into the end zone, but then they decide to go for the break opener. But the wind just catches that and carries it right out of bounds.
So Wizards, whose O-line is in a real funk at the moment. Can they find a way to score? Vasudevan goes to Nagaoka, squeezing it down the sideline to Enriquinho. Fakes the big, looks instead infield. Squeezes it through to Vasudevan. I think he wanted to find that deep shot going, but it wasn't there, so he's swinging it instead. Navi opens up the arm, uncorks a beauty towards the back cone. What a sensational throw. Talk about throwing a player open. And Alban Bordeaux was the grateful recipient for 11-9.
Incredible precision on that throw to land it right there in the corner. We see Wolpertinger walking pretty obviously exhausted from this point. They have worked hard. Their offense was clicking quite well, except for that, you know, it's always except for that last little bit. Yeah. So sweaty armpits walking around on the sideline as the game between Wizards from Switzerland and Wolpertinger Germany continues.
You can't call our crew sweaty armpits, that's not fair.
What do you mean? Oh, our crew, no, our crew is fresh as it has never been.
It's, I'll tell you what, actually weather like this, being in our camera crew, not a bad place to be. Doing a bang-up job this weekend, and as they always do, but always on the lookout for more people. So, if you want to get involved, again, you know where to find us. As, I think we've worked out where that pool's landed, and it's...
on our heads. Luckily, we have a tent over them.
You can see me looking fat in the background there.
Wolpertinger bring it in on the sideline, center it immediately.
You can see Tannenwald. I think he was waiting to check that disc back in or have it, or be it ground checked. And then when Huber just planted his foot in through, it was like, oh yeah, Wooftiff rules. Although in a lot more of an American accent.
And a missed catch. The receiver trying to find it. Oh, and a deep chuck for Matthew Smith there, my former teammate from Quijotes and Dulcineas, but will be stopped by a Wolpertinger receiver.
You've played a little
defender.
bit everywhere, haven't you?
I have a little bit, mostly in cities starting on M, such as Munich, or Madrid, or Miami.
Or
Budweiser.
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 Wolpertinger in the last third of the field. This gets checked in. Gerstenberg.
Yeah, the throw popped up a little bit, but it was well reeled in. That's back into the hands of Gerstenberg, coming underneath. Finds a cutter. Wenzel towards the sideline. Low release to Trump. Into the centre of the pitch, a little bit behind, but reeled in expertly. Be up past the lanky Smith. Now on this near side. Again, just trying to break it into the centre. Rose a little bit, but well dealt with. Fakes the German look, the hammer. Goes underneath.
Wenzel just shy of the end zone. Will he get the open side cut? He will, but the defender will get there on time with a layout D.
Hassan Ouali has been nothing short of sensational this game. Whenever there's a big play that needs to be made, he's been the one that's made it. crazy athletic. And I love the way he comes from the backside and contorts his body around the front to try and make as minimal contact as possible. That is how you do it. Oh, this throw's going to pop up. It's going to airmail and just about reeled in, perhaps.
Gerstenberg, I think, saying that he might have caught on, had possession of the disc before the offensive player. We will get a replay. He does get really high.
Does he have a point?
I can't say.
It is close. Obviously, in the event of simultaneous possession, the tie goes to the offense.
Oh, a foul called. The disc will go back since the foul was contested. So Wizards stuck again in that closer sideline corner. Now a short discussion regarding the stall count. Looks like 6.
The Dutch overall bring it in. We'll see what Overall, who likes a little bit of some creative throwing. See what he's got in his locker. That time a much more conventional look into the centre of the pitch, continuing that swing around to Tannenwald. The American squeezes that through the centre of the pitch. Hurrah! Dishes off to Tannenwald. Enriquinho wants Tannenwald, but the Mark's doing a good job of being a real nuisance and not letting him get that throw off easy. Eventually Tannenwald has the disc in his hands. Overall. Now played all the way back to Tannenwald, back into Overall's hands.
A pick called before the throw. Wolpertinger, I think, could make their job a little bit easier if they really try to take away those resets. I think they're doing a good job downfield, staying close to the potential deep options of the Wizards.
Just seeing Ben Tannenwald's orphaned hat there in the middle of the field and a turnover. The drop on the dump will give Wolpertinger a short field. Huber picks it up quickly, wants to get that one-on-one isolation. And players just crowd into one another. High release towards the near side. Finds its target for 10-11. Wolpertinger not going down quietly.
72nd minute of this game. Third, actually. And the Wizards barely keeping their lead now that Wolpertinger decided that they will not give up this game so easily.
Yeah, it's just, if Wolpertinger had been able to bring this in the first half, this could be done and dusted in their favour by now. But they started so slowly, and they've really had to claw their way back into it.
Still the perfect weather conditions. We see the coach of Wolpertinger giving last-minute instructions to the defensive line.
Sugar Mix players moving to their pitch for their quarter-final, carrying a tent of all things, I assume, to hide a baby in. That's what people do with tents, right? They hide babies in them. Just provide them a bit of shade on the sidelines and respite from the Polish sun.
A really nice floaty pull.
Navi catches it just shy of his end zone and finds Vasudevan. Fakes that look to Charlier in the centre. I thought that could have gone, but Vasudevan didn't want it. Here's Navi going back towards Vasudevan on this near side. Finds Nagaoka, dishes off to Navi. That flow and rhythm that we saw in the first half hasn't been there for Wizards. Enriquinho inside, dishing it off. Vasudevan towards the end zone for Nagaoka. That was much better, that offense from Wizards for 12-10.
Good defensive effort from Jürgen Winter, trying to get that switch and disrupt the flow at the same time, putting his body on the ground, but just too quick of a pass. Couldn't let him become successful and generate the much needed turnover for Wolpertinger. So Wizards go 2 points up, keeping their lead. And we're nearing the point cap, slowly but steadily.
Yeah. 75 minutes on the game clock, so 15 minutes until the time cap comes on. But at this rate, you feel like we might well reach 15 before then.
Hand is up for Wolpertinger. A double whistle from the Volunteers. And here comes the pull.
Caught by Gerstenberg. First throw goes to Uber. Looking for his options, takes the swing here to this near side for Hartmann. Hartmann continues. Big, powerful pump fake. Takes the reset instead as the wind begins to whip up ever so slightly. Casual backhand through to France. Stall count rising, stall out called. I imagine this will be a discussion of a fast count. I think that's the... that seems to be the nature of the conversation.
Couldn't quite see there over Nick, our cameraman, and his vehicle, so to speak. We're getting some outside perspective from the players on the sideline.
He's definitely called the stall out, I think, before the disc is released.
So disc goes back.
Turnover stands, I think. Checked back in. Good spirit. Anouali wants to pick it in quickly. Dishes it off to Tannenwald. With that 5-panel hat that seems to frequently leave his head. That moustache on his top lip finds the tall figure of Smith in the centre. Tannenwald wants to milk this a little bit. Upline cut, this has to go, surely. What a grab there from Matthew Smith. Full extension, putting those long levers and limbs to good use. And he needed every inch of that to bring that in. It's a break for Wizards in 13-10.
And a timeout called immediately. We will get some replay of the beautiful layout for the score. Look at that extension.
Look, it's picture perfect. Could he have left it for his teammate behind him? I mean, also probably. But, I mean, when you can do that, why would you?
And as the teams huddle up, we will take a short break here in the commentary booth.
It's ULTI.TV live at the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships with Benji Rees and Rahel Troshnerova, bringing you action from the Masters Open Division with Wolpertinger down 13-10 to the Wizards Grand Crew.
It's been a tight game. Wizards showing a lot of strength and energy from the start. It looked for a while like they might steal the game away early, but then Wolpertinger turned on the gas and came back with some tidies and even managed to get back a few breaks. Now the Wizards pull away once again. So a timeout call from Wolpertinger definitely made sense. We heard the coach in the huddle going, I really want the energy that I saw in those few previous points. We need to bring it back. We need to keep working hard, push ourselves. So that's hopefully what they will do in this next point as they center the pull.
I mean, I will take your word for it because I do not speak any German, but I could certainly imagine it's words to that effect anyway. Uber looking for this underneath cut, slashing from this near side of the field is Wenzel. Wenzel puts it deep. This is going to hang for Michael. And it's going to go over his head and fall straight into the lap of Lindemann, who backed it up well, and now he dishes off. Heuweiser.
Has a wide open receiver in the end zone, but doesn't see him.
Takes the dump instead. Uber fakes that hammer. Now tries to get around. Slightly off balance. With the flick and the second is absolutely lasered. No chance for the Wolpertinger receiver to get that. Another turn for the Germans.
A difficult angle on that break. It goes straight downwind into that corner. The wind pushes it down. Unfortunate for the Munich team.
It's very much a case of what could have been on that possession.
But they do have the Wizards in a perfect position to get the defense off of the first pass.
I mean, certainly there are worse places to be as a defense. Still count is rising here and has to try and punt it away. This could give an opportunity for someone. Oh, who else but Wally? Look at that closing speed. I think this might be a stall-out call.
And it might not even be unfair. But regardless of that, Hassan, last name pronunciation?
I've been going with Owali.
Owali. Incredible effort on running down that huck for the save. Also, I really like that first name. Hassan just sounds really exotic and cool. He's done a number of really cool things in this game, and this was just the cherry on top.
I mean, you saw there felt like there was a group of players stride for stride, and then Wally just left them in the dust.
I also enjoyed him pointing with his finger behind his back to show the teammates where to go for the next pass.
It's like you,
a
go
nice
here.
little sneaky signal. So it seems like a contested stall out as the disc remains in the hands of Wizards. Smith signaling that he wants to get the deep shot again.
Instead, they go for the dump, the sensible, if less interesting option. Defender down, and he tries to blade it past him. Clever find. Smith with that no pivot backhand. Tannenwald has to go to ground, but he saves it. Now scythes it through that inside flick to Lamberley. Lamberley back to Tannenwald. Tannenwald down the far side. Smith comes underneath to catch. Tannenwald still in the end zone. Yeah, everything clustered around that end zone line on the front cone. He tries to break it through, and it's too high even for Wally. Opportunity lost, and Tannenwald knows it.
A little bit rushed on that end zone line. I do not blame them, but it might cost them a break if Wolpertinger can scrap up the rest of the energy from this long point and reel it in.
Hubert will take his time in bringing this towards the front of the end zone.
A very sensible pace of that walking. And they will go for the deep option, which is collected not by the intended receiver.
What do you mean? I'm sure he absolutely meant for Pasternak to catch that, and I will hear no evidence to the contrary. And I don't think he would either. Huber looking around for options. Dishes back off to Lindemann. Tries to break it around. And now trying to shoot this down the sideline is Michel. Can Pasternak catch up to that? Oh boy, he can.
Oh, now a little bit of testosterone dripping off the shorts of Hassan, trying to call the thrower out, as in traveling on that throw, but his teammate was trying to calm him down. Now the players will talk it out.
Oh, I think he does. So I think his point is that when he's releasing that, he doesn't actually have a point of contact inside the playing surface.
It is true that it is the pivoting foot should really be. It was an impressive throw, nonetheless.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm not taking that away from him at all.
But you have to be careful where the top of your foot and the heel is, actually.
Yeah, because you think about putting your foot on the line, but your foot should be inside the line because it needs to be inside the playing field. And of course, the line, famously, is out.
Doesn't seem like the mark is bothered by the foot on the line.
So instead, Michael takes the reset. Throws sails a little bit. Reeled in comfortably enough regardless by Volt. Back to Michael. Oh, that was floaty. Tannewald rakes out, but he can't get there. And then Huber gets him biting on the mark too. He's throwing himself all over the place. Timeout called. I don't think they've got one.
And I don't think the other team cares. Anyway, so the teams will go into timeout, and I would like to take this opportunity to discuss a little theory with you, Benji.
Go ahead.
So my theory is that as the men spend a longer time at the tournament and get more and more of these hyped up moments, releasing more and more testosterone, paired together with the fact that their team might get into the placement or bracket games, the games just become more and more heated, and we see more and more, not aggression necessarily, but a lot more heated calls and smacks on the ground and cry outs and all that.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Not that I want to generalize or anything.
Like, I don't know. I think players. I mean, that might be true, but I think players may be a little bit more generally better at keeping their emotions in check. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is something, whether it's the testosterone or whether it just, as you kind of get close to the end of the tournament, players they're willing to play with a bit more physicality because they feel like their opponents will as well. You know, maybe you go for those bids that you're not going for in pool play and bracket play, and that kind of necessitates playing with a little bit more contact. And then, yeah, that you're right. That might well get you het up and rile you up.
So, if we have any viewers or spectators looking for a nice topic for a dissertation or maybe a little thesis topic, then I think hormone levels in male ultimate players at top European elite tournaments might be a good one.
And absolutely in no way at all a dangerous path to try and tread and investigate.
Wolpertinger will set up for the offense that they try to cool down with a timeout that they might or might not have had.
Well, the scorekeepers didn't see anything wrong with it, so evidently they had it. And the disc is checked back in and reset to Uber. And Uber was guilty of locking on downfield, and Wally flashed into that lane, and he got the block. We've seen him make plays with his athleticism. That time, he's making them with his mind. Toro, downfield. Smith just leans that one out there. Tannenwald wants to find an option in the end zone. That hat on the floor once more. Instead, he tries to blade it round the defender to the back, and he gets away with it. Finds the mark. That'll be 14-11, game to 15.
Smith with another score. Of course, a favorite target for most of the teams he plays with because of his tall frame, but also wonderful, wonderful safe catches and layouts if necessary.
Right? I mean, we saw that one in the other end zone. What a thing of beauty.
So shout out to my former teammate Matt, and of course all the Quijotes and Dulcineas who are surely following the action here in Wrocław, as well as Tom's tourney in Bruges, where the rest of our ULTI.TV crew is working hard to bring you the best coverage of Ultimate on this planet.
Right, 2 bumper European tournaments in the same weekend. Some crews would scoff at that task. Not us here at ULTI.TV. We love it and we want to bring you as much Ultimate as possible and keep it free as well. And if that is something that you want to support, www.ULTI.TV has all the information that you need.
The first game point on our hands as Wolpertinger receive the pole and try to get moving quickly.
And well, that's not going to work. They threw it right to the Wizards defense. Enriquinho playing a little gift go outside the end zone. They've passed the attacking brick mark now. Tannenwald goes back to Nagaoka. So the excellent toe tapping catch at the back of the other end zone earlier. Now here is Enriquinho. Lovely raking break around. Trying to zip that towards the far sideline is Tannenwald, but who else but Hassan Ouali with the winning goal, and Wizards close it out 15-11. And the first half, they looked like they might run away with it, but Wolpertinger powered back in the second half. They just left themselves too much to do, and Wizards were able to snap out of that funk and eventually get over the line 15-11.
Good game from both teams. Good stuff from our guest commentator, who will surely be back on the stream. Please let us know in the comments whether you've enjoyed our coverage so far. We still have 2 more games to go. Coming up, we have a Masters mixed game, a quarterfinal between PUC Ultimate from Paris, France, and EMUCC Amsterdam Ultimate Club Masters Mix from the Netherlands.
Yeah, after that, we've got Grandmasters, our first and only Grandmasters action of the day, with Silence, version 4.0, or 4.0 rather, against DJ Dahlem, Grandmasters of Germany, and then there'll be a Mixed Masters semi-final, last game this evening at 20-7. But next up, Masters Ultimate, Amsterdam versus Paris in the mixed division, follows in about 20 minutes time. Your final score here in the Masters Open division is Wolpertinger 11, Wizards Grand Crew 15. We'll see you on the other side.
Murphy, and then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! TV!
Merci beaucoup. ULTI.TV.